Not all boats are built the way buyers think. According to factory workers, 10 popular models are practically designed to fail. Cracked hulls, fried wiring, transoms that flood without warning. We're counting them down from bad to catastrophic. One of the most recognized names in boating lands dangerously close to the top. Number 10 starts with a center console hiding a production secret its maker never wanted exposed. In the 10th place, the Seafox 228 draws in buyers with its sharp look, showroom, and affordable price tag. But factory workers say the hull tells a different story. Instead of a solid 8-ply laminate, the company cut down to just 5 thin layers of e-glass, bonded over a lightweight Okumi core. That shortcut means stress cracks start forming at the stringer junctions, sometimes after only a few seasons on the water. Owners caught in the 2018 warranty wave faced repair bills between $4,500 and $7,000 plus weeks without their boat. Resale values took a hit too, dropping by nearly 30% after the issue went public. One former supervisor put it bluntly, "We were pushed to hit 120 hulls a day. The resin barely had time to cure." For many, buying a Seafox 228 meant more time in the shop than on the water, and the countdown is just getting started. Number 9, the Tahoe T16 looks like a perfect starter boat until you hit a wave and feel the transom flex beneath your feet. Factory insiders say the company shaved the transom laminate down from 12 millimeters to just 8 millimeters, leaving the engine mounts prone to misalignment and stress. That shortcut created a nightmare for rental fleets around Lake Ozark, where 45 separate incidents in 2020 alone were logged for transom failures. But the pain does not stop at the back of the boat. Cheaper tinned copper wiring behind the helm has a habit of corroding fast, leading to electrical shorts and sudden power loss. Veteran technician Transom Tony puts it bluntly, "When you hit a wave, it is a soft transom, nowhere near solid." Owners facing this double hit often see repair bills climb past $7,000, and many are forced into arbitration just to get the manufacturer to pay. The T16 proves that when cost-cutting targets both structure and wiring, owners pay twice, sometimes in the same season. 8th place, the Bayliner Element draws families in with its promise of hassle-free boating and slick hybrid hulls. But behind the scenes, factory workers point to a ticking time bomb, the bond between the fiberglass hull and the polypropylene deck. Starting in 2014, Bayliner swapped out dense foam cores for a cheaper low-density polymer and cut deck butt straps in half to save costs. The result is deck joint separation and water sneaking in at the seams. In 2021, Better Business Bureau complaints exploded, increasing 213% to 820 cases in a single year. Warranty claims climbed to 7%, and an internal email from 2017 shows engineers warning about durability. Owners facing these failures are hit with repair bills ranging from $6,500 to $9,000, and many see their boat's value plummet after a single fix. For anyone thinking a maintenance-free hull means peace of mind, the Element's bond line tells a different story, and the next boat in the countdown pushes cost-cutting even further. Number 7, the Tracker 247 Sport promises big fun for a bargain price, but factory insiders warn the hull is hiding a major weakness. Instead of using standard marine-grade resin, Tracker switched to a recycled blend that drops tensile strength by about 15%. That shortcut means the hull cannot handle the pounding from wakeboarding or choppy water. Cracks start to spider at stress points, especially with the mid-hull bulkhead missing from earlier designs. In 2019 alone, the Coast Guard logged 12 hull breach incidents on this model, far above the norm. Owners caught in these failures face repair bills running from $3,800 to $5,500, plus the headache of repeated downtime. An internal memo from 2017 titled "Transom Thickness Dispute" shows engineers fighting for safety, while marketing pushed for thinner, cheaper construction. For anyone who thinks recycled resin is just a green badge, the Tracker 247 Sports record says otherwise, and the next boat in the countdown takes deck core shortcuts to a whole new level. Number 6, the Sun Tracker 150 looks like the perfect family weekend boat on the lot, but factory workers say the deck tells a different story. In 2018, the company thinned the deck core by 30%, chasing lower costs and faster output. The result was decks that delaminate early, sometimes before the second season. Repair shops log fixes running from $4,200 to $6,800, and owners often face weeks out of the water. Legal trouble soon followed. In 2021, a class action settlement for $2.3 million forced SunTracker to pay for mandatory third-party inspections. One line worker put it plainly. They said they cut cure time by a quarter just to hit quotas. The resin never got a chance to set. That shortcut left hundreds with soft, spongy decks and a paper trail that now runs straight through the courts. As litigation enters the reliability story, the countdown only gets more intense. Number 5. The Regal 2100 wears its premium cruiser badge with pride, but factory insiders say the real story is hidden in the hull. In 2015, an internal memo authorized a material downgrade. High modulus fiberglass was replaced with cheaper E-glass. At the same time, stringer spacing was widened from 6 inches to 9 inches. That small change made a big difference, because less support means the hull flexes more, especially under stress. The result is deck rails that pop loose, and metal fittings that corrode from the inside out due to galvanic reactions triggered by constant movement. Owners in saltwater regions report fittings rusting through in under 2 years, with repair bills ranging from $5,000 to over $7,000. In 2022, a Magnuson-Moss arbitration forced Regal to extend warranties for deck failures. For anyone thinking a stiffer hull is just marketing fluff, the repair history of the 2100 proves otherwise. And with legal remedies now part of the equation, the top 4 boats only get riskier. Number 4. The Crestliner 2D5 lures weekend adventurers with its promise of a low-maintenance hull and rugged T-top. But factory workers say the real story starts below the waterline, where shortcuts come back to haunt owners. Crestliner swapped in a lower-grade polyester resin and skipped sacrificial anodes on many boats built between 2016 and 2019. That decision left the hull exposed to rapid osmosis blistering, a chemical attack that bubbles up under the gel coat, eats away at the laminate, and leaves ugly scars across the bottom. Repair shops in Florida coastal towns have seen this movie before. The same Crestliner 225s come back again and again, with 35% needing repeat blister repairs within just 2 years. The average fix runs $2,500, but the pain does not end there. Insurance companies have flagged the model, reporting an 18% higher claim rate than the industry baseline. And when transom rot sets in, owners face even bigger bills. The missing anodes save a few bucks at the factory, but cost thousands down the line. As the countdown continues, the next boat reveals just how far retail shortcuts can go. Coming to the top 3, Lowe's Adventure 250 looks like an easy win for DIY boaters, but factory workers say the real story is buried in the deck and in the wiring. Instead of marine-grade materials, this kit uses a cardboard honeycomb core under a skin of just 4 millimeters of laminate. That is thinner than most kayak hulls. Owners report decks cracking after a single season, with water creeping in at every seam. The wiring is copper-clad aluminum, not solid copper, so corrosion strikes fast and power cuts out without warning. In 2019 alone, the Better Business Bureau logged around 600 complaints, most citing structural failure or sudden leaks. Repair bills start at $4,800 and can climb past $7,000 if you need a full deck replacement and a wiring overhaul. One plant manager did not mince words. He said they skipped the vacuum bag cure step to ship 150 boats a week. For many buyers, the promise of a quick, affordable build ends with a boat that is out of commission before the second summer. And just ahead, the countdown reveals a model where planned obsolescence is not just a rumor, it is a design principle. Number 2, the Premier 150 Sport is where the cost-cutting spiral turns into a full-blown cascade of failures. Factory workers say the hull laminate was thinned from 6 millimeters down to 4 millimeters, shaving material costs but leaving the hull vulnerable to cracking at the stringers after only a year or 2 on the water. Stainless steel hardware, once marine-grade 316, was swapped for cheaper 304, meaning fittings and bolts corrode fast, especially in salt water. Owners report deck rails rusting through and fuel pumps failing from moisture intrusion, with repairs often running from $5,600 to $8,200 and downtimes stretching nearly a month. In 2022, the Coast Guard flagged the Premier 150 Sport with a structural failure notice. And by 2023, a lawsuit hit the courts, accusing the company of deliberate planned obsolescence. An internal email from 2021 said that thinner laminates will reduce hull lifespan by 30%. For many, the Premier 150 Sport is not just a boat. It is a countdown to corrosion, cracks, and costly repairs. And if you think this is as bad as it gets, just wait for the top spot. The next boat takes failure to a whole new level. And finally, in first place, the Pursuit P-Series stands out for all the wrong reasons. What looks like a high-performance sport boat from the showroom hides a design flaw that insiders call catastrophic. The trouble starts at the transom. Instead of a dense marine-grade core, Pursuit switched to a high-density foam, saving money but at a steep cost. Add a single stringer for cockpit support, and the whole structure flexes under real-world loads. After a hard run or heavy planing, water does not just seep in. It floods the cockpit. Owners describe the sudden shock of water pouring in from the back, with engine mounts showing wear long before the first major service. The numbers tell the story, a spike of 1,050 warranty claims in a single year, each one tied to flooding or catastrophic transom failure. Repairs do not come cheap. Most bills land between $6,200 and $9,500, and boats can sit in the shop for up to 1 month. Pursuit was forced into a 2-year structural warranty extension after a wave of arbitration hearings. One former designer, speaking off the record, admitted that they fought to keep better materials, but cost won out. The hardware downgrade from grade 316 to grade 304 stainless steel only made things worse, with fittings rusting out in saltwater regions. For owners, the promise of performance turns into weeks of downtime, thousands in repairs, and a boat that is never quite the same again. The Pursuit P-Series does not just top the list for failure rate, it redefines what it means to be built to fail. Across all 10 models, one pattern stands out. Cost-cutting and hidden shortcuts leave owners paying the price. The risk isn't just buyer's remorse, it's real-world breakdowns that drain wallets and ruin weekends. The truth is simple. In boating, what you don't see below deck can sink you.